Patrick Moorhead, kick us off. Oracle CloudWorld, lots to cover there.
Yeah, so Oracle is such a diverse company. I mean, not only are they SaaS and still have even on-prem apps and on-prem databases, but they also have IaaS and cloud infrastructure, and they have traditional infrastructure. So such a diverse company. You know, Dan, 5 years ago, people were wondering, what is this company going to do? They're kind of the old tech company, and to their credit, just come storming back. And first and foremost, Steve Miranda got up. He runs Oracle Fusion apps, and announced exactly what you would expect. Right, three generative AI, two generative AI features, and a new data platform for generative AI, and brought a bunch of partners on, kind of singing the praise of it. Here's what I loved: is Stephen went off script, and I think it just shows the kind of company that Oracle is, and the customers like talking about, didn't believe anything that the salespeople said, and the implementation was a challenge, but they got through that. And I really appreciate that, because Dan, you and I sit in the audience, just like watching these customer stories, and they've got nothing. They have no constructive criticism, and to me, it comes off fake. This came off very genuine. Key message sent out. This was less about, I think, picking up market share, more about getting the installed base of customers to go in and dive into these generative AI features, and also those customers who might be still on-prem, right, with some of their features to get in the cloud. So this is going to go long, isn't it?
No, man,
No, I'm going to move this forward. So new Fusion data intelligence platform, right? It combines the data models, the AI ML, analytics, and apps. I think what we've seen over the last 9 months is you have to have the models close to the data. And this is what that does. And while most uninformed people think analytics are going away, that is ridiculous, because technology is additive. We have analytics, ML, DL, and of course, generative AI features. And finally, Steve rolled out multiple generative AI features across every part of their portfolio: ERP, SCM, CX, sales, marketing, pretty much across the entire gambit. And while I don't think this is as many features, the Oracle strategy is to put up, not the 100 features that 10 will get used, but put in the 20 to 30 features that they know that their customers need, and can activate that data and either save money or make or drive more revenue. OCI, big victory lap on HeatWave Lakehouse. Very simple. You put MySQL in memory and it's going to be really fast. Okay. Why the other vendors can't do this, I don't know. I love the middle finger charts showing Redshift, Databricks, Snowflake, Google BigQuery. I'm a fan of Google BigQuery, but when you pack MySQL into memory, it is just going to be fast. Final comment on OCI. I'm leaving you a lot here, Dan. Very interesting. They had Ampere on stage, and they're an ARM-based data center processor play, and couple announcements there. First off, Clay McGurk, who runs OCI for Oracle, said 95% of OCI plus new Fusion customers run on Ampere computing. That was a mind-blowing moment, right? And I know, you whispered to me or asked me, hey, wonder what that means to revenue. When we're watching this, Oracle is a huge investor, and I think has invested billions into Ampere. All I know is that it has to be a bunch, and I'm sure we could spreadsheet this out, but I'll wait to do that. Dan, I left you a ton of content here. The Microsoft stuff. Go for it.
Listen, because there was so much going on, I want to just kind of boil it down to a couple of themes. The company, and this was really well articulated by Clay McGurk, but the full stack is really when you can take together the infrastructure layer and tie it to enterprise applications and industry applications. And what does that mean? Well, there's the concept of building apps that are very specific to a use case in industries, financial services, supply chain use cases. And then there's the actual applications for enterprise, which is ERP, CRM, all the things that we kind of regularly talk about. What Oracle has done that's very, very interesting and kind of has quietly happened is it's really created this virtuous circle of completeness in its offering that you can argue no one else, maybe Microsoft, is doing this, but Microsoft doesn't have the traditional core ERP database at nearly the scale that Oracle does. And the reason I point this out is Oracle is kind of increasingly becoming this gelatinous blob of capability to serve the entire enterprise.
Hey, Dan, can you write a paper on that for me?
Called the gelatinous blob.
Gelatinous blob.
No, listen, just stick with me now.
No, your
fastest
point
in-memory
is spot
database.
on.
Your
point is spot on.
Hyperscale cloud infrastructure. You've got partnerships and peering globally with leading infrastructure companies. You've got platforms. You've got like Cerner, an industry-focused application that is basically one of a very small number of apps that's globally used, compliant for highly regulated industries, that ties together that enterprise app, that industry app, and plus the infrastructure layer. And this has been visible in the company's recent performance and its growth. It is the fastest growth infrastructure play right now.
Yeah,
it is. It's had strong growth across cloud, but the infrastructure number has grown very, very quickly. So Clay rightfully did his victory lap. And let's face it, I know we talked about this last week, but seeing Satya Nadella, who, by the way, had a nice chat with you and I yesterday. We should put that photo up. But seeing Satya Nadella,
just the two of us, of course.
It was just the two of us and a couple people behind us. But also sitting down with Larry and literally coming together and saying, look, we sort of know the world is hybrid multi. Pat, we've been saying this for a little while. We understand that we have customers that might see more benefit in one public cloud or another, but we want to bring the highest performance utilization of Oracle, regardless of which cloud it's in. And at the same time, we want to make an attractive reason for these two companies to be cross-selling. And obviously, there's got to be a reason those two want to work together. There's someone they're collectively chasing, maybe out there. And the only other thing I'll leave, and then we'll move on from this, is I did want to give a shout out to Steve Zavanek and his team. We've worked closely with. We went to the database summit momentarily, and their numbers, the MySQL HeatWave numbers, are just mind-boggling. The performance. Yeah. And I think people have kind of not noticed, maybe at scale, how much it is outperforming all of its peers right now. And that's put a lot of pressure. It'll pressure innovation from the other hyperscalers, but it also is probably part of the reason that if latency and query speed and all that stuff is a priority, Oracle's got a compelling story right now. And if you run Oracle on Oracle, in Oracle, you're going to get the absolute best of breed performance, which maybe you could call that an attempt to get lock-in, or maybe you could just call that an attempt to build the best solution for customers. So you could look at it across the continuum.
Yeah, good analysis, Dan. One thing we never talk about is the cost base of Fusion, right? You have Salesforce, right, and ServiceNow who have to sit on they have to pay an AWS or an Azure or somebody to do all this goodness. So there've got to be some cost advantages in there as well.
I think we saw some companies like Zoom make big commitments to Oracle over the years because I think they were looking at those potential cost efficiencies.